Honestly, I'm not enjoying LA. LA is tough. I think the hardest thing to get in is like the interview after. It's like for me, the interview was like with the discipline head of AFI and Martin Nicholson, which was like the editor of Game of Thrones. It was like, oh my God, like I'm done till now. Like this is the furthest I could imagine. I don't know how where to go from now.
May I know
Yeah,
what was your IELTS or TOEFL score?
it was seven and a half.
You were 7.5.
Yeah,
What was your speaking?
I think it was 7.5 or seven, something like that.
If in 1 year ago you were in 7.5 score, I believe you had an amazing and great progress in your speaking. Can you
Hmm.
tell a little bit more in detail what did you do exactly? Hello everyone, welcome back to Smart Talks Harry YouTube channel again. And today I have a special guest from LA. Attila, my friend, is here from AFI, American Film Institute, which is the most prestigious and the best and number one film organization based in Los Angeles, California. So I have so many questions to ask from Attila, but before that, I want Attila to introduce himself and then I can dig into more questions.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to this interview. I'm glad that you found me and you asked uh, that have this interview. I hope I can answer whatever question that is that you are having and the people that are watching it. I hope they would find their answers here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your time today. So, Attila, I'm going to ask my question first about the institute you're in. Tell us more about AFI. And honestly, it was kind of not familiar for myself. I searched a lot, I read and checked the faculties and the people were there. So, if you want to introduce AFI and the majors.
Yeah, AFI is like American Film Institute is like a conservatory. It's like an institute, a film institute, that are also having a conservatory like on the side. They're doing a lot of different things. Like AFI itself, it has AFI Fest, which is like one of the uh, biggest film festivals in United States. Like not as like as good as like Sundance or like Tribeca, but like it is like it could. I think in one of the rankings that I checked, it was like third or fourth film festival that is going on in United States. And they are also doing conservatory, which is like a educational uh, program, and they're only offering Master of Fine Arts in 6 disciplines. They're not having bachelor's or like PhD or stuff. They only have Master of Fine Arts, and this is the only institute that has a Master of Fine Arts in that is gonna be only 2 years. All of the other Master of Fine Arts is like 3 years or sorry. um yeah, 3 years or so. But like this one is like 2 years and kind of like 2 years and a half program. It's like so dense. They put a lot of things into it, and it's like so much more practical than like a regular film school that you like go to read and learn about the films. And yeah, I think I answered your question. I hope.
Yeah, sure. Just before.
I mean, yeah, I was telling you about the disciplines. Yeah, it's 6 disciplines that are directing, producing, screenwriting, editing, production design, and cinematography. And yeah.
Okay, perfect. Who can apply to AFI? If the students watching this video and they are in art or I don't know, non-related honestly majors, can they apply again still for this major that you have?
Me myself, I didn't have any background in film, educational background in film. My bachelor's is in electrical engineering.
Oh,
Uh, and yeah, so I studied electrical engineering, and I've started working like on films and doing film editing, and writing films and different stuff, uh, throughout the time that I was studying for my bachelor's. And I just made resume throughout this time. I mean, I can just talk about myself. I feel like everybody who wants to, they can apply for it. They just require you to have a bachelor's degree in order to get the Master of Fine Arts. But actually, I know people that are like coming without a bachelor and they're just getting the AFI certificate, which is like it's a certificate, but it's not a Master of Fine Arts. But if you need a master for like later studies, if you want to do a PhD, then or like if you want to apply for like EB1, a green card, you might need to have that master's degree. So I feel like everybody who wants to study film and is like as passionate and like wants to be in LA because like the film industry here is like so uh like there's so much going on in terms of film industry here. So I feel like whoever that wants to, they can apply here.
I see. That's interesting. So what was the main reason Attila changed from electrical engineering to film industry, film related major?
Main reason, I feel like I always been interested in technology and like I've been doing programming when I was in high school, but I applied for like all of us we did college entrance exam and I got accepted for electrical engineering rather than a computer engineering. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do computer engineering. I'm not gonna be programming anymore, but it's gonna be something. Maybe on my for my master's I would go for programming. But it turned out to be something that makes me hate it, you know? Like uh I wasn't really interested in continuing engineering at all after that. So yeah, I've been doing electrical engineering and like the subjects and everything was not really interesting for me. And also the other thing was COVID. Like throughout the COVID time, I had more spare time because like everything was like online and we weren't going out. So I was like, okay, this is the time for me to follow my passions. So I started more working on stuff. And also like there is another thing. I've been like there was a one documentary filmmaking team that I've been working with when I was like around 17 before I get into because I went to school like when I was 17, sorry, high school, university. And that documentary team really pushed me towards this path that like I got to know many people, many things about cinema because before that I didn't know anything about it. And eventually that documentary didn't actually go anywhere, but it changed my path in my life. It showed something else to me. And yeah, I started editing then, like working on their footages, and then I started like going to dance because the documentary was like about underground like artists in Tehran, like which was like about hip hop, about like dancers, graffiti artists, and different people. And so in the end, I turned out like it turned out to be I was going to dance classes because I was like really interested in it. And then I started editing those dance videos for myself and like others, and that was a moment that I was like, okay, I can actually like continue this. It's fun, and that fun thing, that fun hobby, turned out to be like kind of a career for me right now.
I see. Yeah, I'm really happy you're doing what you really like. So, one more question about the application process. So,
Mhm.
how is the application process? What did you submit? It? What requirements does AFI have for the students who applying there?
So the application process, like it is different actually for different disciplines. It's not like you apply and you get it. You have to decide what you want to study among those six disciplines that I described earlier. So for the editing, it needed my major is editing. So I needed to have two films in my background. I mean, you have to have a resume, obviously, at least like you've worked on different kind of films and like have an idea of like film history, cinema history and stuff. But like basically the application process was like one artistic statement that is about like yourself, your artistic vision, and what you want to do as an artist in the film industry, and why you chose to be an artist in the film industry. And on the other hand, it was like two films that I had to be edited solely, like just myself, not like co-edited or like assistant edited, just like solely edited. And then IELTS, like English proficiency. I think it was that. But it's actually like I think the hardest thing to get in is like the interview after. It's like for me, the interview was like with the discipline head of AFI and Martin Nicholson, which was like the editor of Game of Thrones series. Like he edited a couple of episode in that series. So it was like, oh my God, like I'm done till now. Like this is the furthest I could imagine. I don't know how where to go from now. But yeah, and the interview was actually the toughest part for me because they watch your films, they kind of try to understand your vision and like your taste in film, and they ask so many specific questions about your film. Actually, I mean, they asked me at least about the films because the films that I submitted were one of the films that I made myself and I edited myself, and one of the films that I edited. And it was also like there were also other questions throughout the process. Like the application is like a big huge form that you have to answer different questions about films and like different things. It's like it's not like an exam, but they want to know you. They want to know how interesting is your vision. So that was the process of uh, the application.
I see. Just one more question about your major. Uh, I'm a little bit confused about editing. Can you explain what is exactly, what do you mean by editing
Okay,
major?
okay, editing. Okay, so this is I feel like editing. Whoever that needs to know editing, they know editing, needs to be applying for it. But editing, like basically in film industry, they do not shoot the film like for example, they do not shoot it like this, that you're in the right side and I'm in the left side. Like they did not shoot it in the same way. They shoot it like they shoot your coverage separately and then my coverage separately, and then it's the editor that like puts them together, creates a rhythm between this conversation. And like it's like a simple example of like a conversation scene. It could be like an action scene. It could be like a scene that is somebody is feeling something, some like psychological moments. It like the feeling, like editing is like putting the shots together. The director tried to be like try to like imagine. Editor is like trying to grasp those ideas and see what they have and then combine them, make something as a film. So it's like the last process of the film because like for example, like whatever you do, like editing is actually like kind of like debugging when you uh, write a code, you know? Like you write the code, you created, you made it, you made the product, then editor is it's the editor that comes to starts the post-production thing. So they put them together. They feel like, oh, this story is not working now. Let's debug this. Let's debug that. And it's also like a safe zone to try different ideas of the film, like the ideas that like you were not thinking because now you see the footage and then the shots, so you may have new ideas, and it has no cost to try them out. So you start trying. It's like that kind of thing uh, in film industry.
I see. I think I can tell the thing I'm doing with my interviews is kind of simplest way of editing. Maybe I'm getting one video
Yeah.
for your recording and one for myself. I'm putting these two together. Sometimes making your screen bigger, larger to make more impression.
So yeah, if I'm gonna be like delving deeper a little bit into it, it's like so Americans do genre films. So like they do comedy. So comedy is like editing comedy like genre is like different than editing a crime action film. It's like you have to make the suspense as much as possible that you need for the thing that you wanted for the the thing that you already set up and you want it to be land later on. Like these are being done in editing. Like the people, like the director and like everybody else, like they were imagining it, they were trying to make something, but it's the editor that like make it work. Or like in the comedy, like one simple thing, it could be like the jokes should you shouldn't like play the jokes that are being said in a wrong way so that they wouldn't be funny because you didn't make it well. It's the editor that like has to work like make it better so the jokes were landing and like you know.
I see. Yeah, I got your point. So one more question about the application process is about age of the applicants. Do you think there was any limitation
Oh,
if for example I'm 31, I'm getting my PhD? Do you think I can apply after PhD for AFI? And if I
I believe so. I mean, there are people like it is actually something about AFI that is AFI is kind of accepting people that are like elder than 30 usually. Yeah. Um, so, I mean, me myself, I got into AFI when I was 23, and it was just like a blessing for me. I mean, I know some other people that are also like younger than others, but like the average age is like around 29, 30. Like there are people like that are 40, there are people that are like 22, but like the average is like around 27, 22, 32, like something like that. So it's because it's not a film school that you go to like have fun. They put a lot of pressure on you, and they want real people that they want to continue working after after graduation. They don't want people to just have a major like in film, and they want to see like how serious are you to continue in this career, because it's not like like if you want to study film just to have an idea about it, or like just to just to learn more about that field, you better like go to, I mean, in AFI it's like less of theoretical studies, it's more of practical studies, and like how to make films really, like because like the process of filmmaking is like we make around not around we make exactly 81 films in first year. We made like in our first year, like it's like our cohort is like 125 people, like which is like 25 people in different disciplines. Uh, and we make film, like we become groups of 6 people in from each discipline, and we make films together. And it's not like we are assigned to make a film. It's like actually it's not like we decide to make films. We are assigned to make films. It's like we have to make the film before we end the semester. Like otherwise, we wouldn't finish that semester. It's like the only thing that we think about throughout that semester. I mean, there are some classes like for different disciplines that are like, mm, theoretical classes, like or like software classes or other stuff. But like main goal for each semester is like making that film. So they obviously they don't want people that are like not really willing to work. They want people. That's why they divided the disciplines. They want people to know what discipline they want to work on and what they want to do. And yeah, I think I kind of answered the
yeah,
question. I don't.
thank you. So the next question is about funding and scholarships. Is there any funding for AFI students applying there?
Okay, AFI is so expensive. It's one of the most expensive schools in United States in like in film. One of the most expensive film programs I can tell. So they do have some scholarships. As far as I know, they do have like two like kind of full scholarship people. Like two people that are like being granted a full scholarship each year. But also there are like different amount of scholarships that are being granted to different people. Like for example, like 50% of people get 10,000 scholarship. Like it's like a deductible from their tuition. Or like 20% of them get more. 10% of them even get more, but like two of them get full scholarship. But like, it's the private school. It's not like a school that like it's not like a PhD thing that people apply and get paid to do research and stuff. They have to pay. You have to pay, and like the people, those who are like from United States, they usually get loans and stuff, or like if they're so rich, they can just pay for themselves. But yeah, I mean, usually people get loans, even myself.
Like MD schools in the US, they also
Yeah,
never give funding for
you mean medical
medical
school?
students. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
sort of.
MD
Yeah.
students usually not get funding. They usually get loans and cover the costs and tuitions, and after that start paying off that loans.
True.
Yeah, that makes sense because film industry in the US is just booming and
I mean, I should tell, like, it is like other schools are also like the same, kind of. Other film programs, like, it's like film is not a major that you get paid to study. It's not like engineering and other, like film, you usually have to pay for studying film. But the difference from between, I mean, the difference that made me convinced to come to AFI was AFI pays for the films that you make. Like those 81 films that I talked about, all of them are paid by AFI. I mean, they are from our tuition, but other schools don't pay that. It's AFI that is like paying that. Or like they do pay around, like, I mean, each year it's different, but like they do pay for, because the second year we do thesis films. And for the thesis films, we have to raise funds for like up to $50,000. I mean, this is for us for this year, but also AFI gives some money for that thesis film, um, just like a base rent funding fundraising, and then we start raising from there to up to like to a cap, which is like 50,000. So not all film schools have these offers, but also like the other thing that is actually really, I mean, I'm not sure if I have to tell this, but AFI is like a non-profit organization. It's not a school. It's non-profit organization that has a conservatory on the side. So in order to raise those funds, we get the money from people, and they're gonna be tax deductible for them. So it's easy to raise that money because people just like to, you know, pay the money where they want to go instead of pay taxes. So it's just easier to raise funds.
that makes sense. Yeah, it's true. So tell us about the faculty in AFI. What kind of faculty does AFI has? I mean, based on the background they have, how famous they are. Because when we're talking about the film industry and AFI, I'm feeling we should see some famous people in the field, right?
Faculty. Well, faculty is all of them. Like the first, like the one and most important rule for AFI's faculty is working industry people. They have to be working, like they have to be working in the industry, meaning they have to be a part of, like an active part of union, because in the United States in film industry, they have unions for different disciplines. For example, they have editors union, they have like producers union, they have actors union, like different kind of union. They have to be an active part of the industry, and um, and they have there are a lot of like famous people as well in the board that I'm not sure of. Like it's like something that you hear, but you're not sure that is like is if that's true or not. But like you can tell that like there are people that are like, I mean, David Lynch, Darren Aronofsky, like there are so many people that are like Rachel Morrison, Trans Malik, they're all studied in AFI, so you can tell that the people that are like teaching should be people that are like also trying to do something in the film industry.
That's amazing. That's really motivational.
I mean, and also it keeps changing. So like the faculty is that like the one thing that I can't tell about the faculty is that, but like it keeps changing.
That's really exciting to see these people in the area. when also you're
Well,
film passion.
yeah. I mean, for example, this year we had last year that I was not in AFI. I mean, 2 years ago, sorry, because last year I was. 2 years ago, Paul Thomas Anderson came to AFI as a guest. So they keep having guests as well. Like other than faculty, they do have guests. Like the like in our year, I David Fincher came to talk about his film The Killer,
My
or
God.
yeah, or like Wim Wenders came to talk about Perfect Days. So there are like guests, like the director of May December. I forgot his name. Um, yeah, Todd Haynes. So yeah, they're having guests as well, and like it's a required class for second year fellows. So yeah,
Okay.
they have to be there.
Okay. So, Attila, before I move to kind of life part of the interview about your personal life more, I'm gonna ask my last question. If you can briefly explain what kind of projects so far you worked on, it would be great.
Okay, I think one of the things that people may be interested in knowing and they hear something about it. I mean, heard some things about it beforehand, but like the structure of AFI is so when you get in, you have a boot camp for like a month and a half, and then you have three cycle films to do in first year, which is like one in the boot camp and the cycle one in the first semester and cycle two and cycle three in the second semester. And cycle one is the idea that a director pitches and they get a producer, and the director and producer then start to find other people on it. The second cycle is like the writer pitches an idea for people. They get a producer, and the writer and producer start to think to find people for their team, for the film. And for the cycle three is the actual producer that pitches their idea, um, and, and then they try to find other team members. And it could be whatever kind of projects. They are all narrative. Like it's there, you can barely find anything experimental or like I mean documentary is like a big no in AFI because they are trying to I mean they're saying that this is not the right place if you want to do documentary. They're saying if it's this is not the right place if you're trying to do experimental. You can experiment, you can try because basically those films that you make in first year, they're not being distributed anywhere. You cannot show it anywhere. It's only practice. It's only being shown in the theater of AFI to the current fellows that are studying. And like just a caption, fellow means the students, but like in AFI they just call fellows the student. Let's call it students fellows. So, um, but yeah, basically the all films are like practices, and it could be whatever genre that you want. Um, I mean, you're open to do whatever story that you want. You're free, but you do have mentors to guide you towards a better story and script, so you can make a better film, and it's gonna be a better practice, you know.
Nice. Okay, Attila, I'm gonna. So we're over with our first part, which is just general questions about AFI and how the life going as a student in AFI. So now I'm gonna move to live session of the interview and ask more questions about your work and life balance. Firstly, so I'm gonna know how is your work-life balance? Is it hard to be at AFI? Is kind of having normal work-life balance, or just like PhD student all the time? You're doing kind of work with AFI and don't have honestly really good kind of
I
social
mean,
life.
I had a friend that we came together, and she's been studying PhD in USC, and I've been working in AFI, and I truly like there were moments that I was like, dude, you're having so much fun, and I'm not, like, because like FI in FI you're like at school. I mean, for my discipline, basically we were at school until 10 p.m. from 9 a.m. to 10
Oh
p.m.
my gosh.
classes. And after you're done with classes, you also have that cycle film that I talked about. So you have to work on that. So it is like 6 weeks pre-production for each cycle film. So you have to keep participating in those meetings for the cycle film. And then you have to make the film in 3 days that you have to you all the principal team members have to be on set. Like it's gonna be like 12 hours shoot, and like 10 to 12 hours, I'm not sure, but like you have to be there. You have to work there. Like AFI is your life. People are like just at AFI. I mean, editors even more because we also have to be here to edit. So with AFI's computers, so it's even more. Like I'm usually here. If AFI didn't close at 12 at midnight, I would have stayed like even more, you know. It's just their policy that I go out sometimes, like they kick us out, you know.
I think they have to
But
do
it's not the best work balance, work life balance. But and that's why it's 2 years, you know.
Yeah, the thing I'm thinking about is just I feel people are in AFI, they really love it, they're passionate about it. And in science, also people love it, but I feel sometimes we see some people who just do research and do kind of engineering
Mm,
stuff because they have to. But in
yeah.
AFI, story is different, I believe. That's maybe another.
Honestly, I don't know how to answer that question because because it's different, you know. I don't know how to enjoy researching. I don't know.
Have you ever burned out of working at AFI? You said
Yeah,
yourself, stop working,
yeah,
go out, have fun.
yeah. Sometimes my friends like taking me out, like, come on, stop it. Like you're working too hard. You have to stop it. Or like sometimes you just feel like you know, like there were moments that like director was like in my bay, in my editing bay, and like we were working, and I was just like stopped working, and I was like, dude, I cannot continue. Like my mind is blowing right now. Like I have so many thoughts, and I've been working like 12 hours, like 16 hours per day. Like I just work and I go sleep, and then again tomorrow morning I just work and then go just. So sometimes I feel like, oh, I cannot continue this. Um, it is something that you have to be passionate about if you want to do it, because otherwise, why should you do it? Because it's like a software, but like you learn in the middle of it. Like you learn throughout the time, but it's a tough experience. So you have to choose to, you know, take that as a blessing or as a software, you know.
That's true. Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
Can you
I
say that
mean,
again?
you're studying in AFI, which is located
Yeah,
in LA, which is
yeah,
one of the best cities to be, right, for this
yeah.
kind of major. How do you see the impact of LA in your future, maybe career? Do you think it's important to be in a place like LA if you're studying this major, or
LA, honestly, I'm not enjoying LA. LA is tough. Uh, it is. I mean, I shouldn't be like.
so? What is tough about LA? Because
It's
everyone
okay.
sees LA.
Let me answer the question like in a proper way, so it would be helpful for people that are watching it.
Okay,
Um, so in terms of film industry, I have friends like in other like states in other parts of the country, like United States, and in comparison to them, honestly, even to New York, LA is different. And I know people that are like go like that were working in New York, but they came to LA. I mean, I'm not saying New York is bad because I haven't experienced it. I haven't experienced it, but like um, LA is like where the film industry is going, and I mean, when I'm saying film industry, I have to like elaborate a little bit more so that you know what is film industry. So there are like seasons of filmmaking. Like I'm not like truly sure exactly like what are the months and stuff, but like there is a pilot season. There's like a like for students, there's like internship season. and like most of them are in LA, or like there are like, I mean, lately there are like vertical shows that are like getting uh like more famous these days, and like they're hiring so many people. And yeah, they have their own seasons that are like they make people, they hire people, they make films, they hire people for the films, for the production, for the post production. So all of these are happening in LA. And I'm when I'm comparing myself to like my friend that is like, for example, in Virginia, uh I mean, I'm not saying they're not able to do anything. They did some stuff, but it's the chance to meet new people. It's the chance to meet people that are working in industry. And like sometimes I just feel like even in the summer, like I had a lot of stuff to do, even though that I'm an international student, and I'm like I like kind of didn't know so many people here. Just in a year, I knew so many people. I got to know so many people that are like keep like offering me some like different things to do. So it was all about the connection. So how could you be continuing in your career when you cannot connect with those kind of people? But it's yeah, it's all about that. But LA itself is like it's different than when you what you imagine. Like when I was imagining, like when I was like dreaming of coming to LA, it was like city of angels, you know. It was not that. It was honestly not that. It's um I think it's kind of disappointing in the beginning, but once you get used to it and you try to live in it, like kind of settle down in it, uh, you get to know like different good spots to get to know people, like good spots to like unwind. And like the culture here is different because like there are so many international people here. And I mean, the one good thing that I can point out about LA in general is like the chance to meet so many good people. And you're in the film industry. If you're gonna if I'm gonna be talking about kind of film, uh, but also like the nature of California is amazing. You know, you can always that's undeniable. I mean, I don't know if I answered your question properly, but um. As far as I experience here, if I was not in LA, I didn't have much to do because like it was all just trying to be going there to be doing like assistant editing or like being DIT. DIT is like another kind of assistant editing, which is like you do stuff on set. And they're not, I mean, they're jobs or like they're like positions that you can do. But if I didn't know about them, how could I like get to know that director to like later on work with that director, or like later on with work with that producer? So it's just a matter of like how like the chance of getting to know people.
I see. Yeah, I think in terms of connections and networking, LA is really worth it. So, tell us about the challenges you've had during your study in AFI. What are the biggest challenges you had so far?
Time management and it was like one of the challenges that I first tried to like. I'm still struggling with it, but I think in United States everything is like so organized. And you have to be kind of moving with that organization, like that like well organized things. And in the beginning, you feel like, oh, I can do my own things. But once you go on, you feel like, oh, it's the best to just stick to that, like stick to that schedule and the things that you are assigned to do, and that would be working for you the best. So the time management, because also like LA is like uh so crowded, so you have to be thinking ahead of time about things. And like there's, as I said, there's always so many things happening, so you have to be thinking ahead of time to make your things done. Otherwise you just keep losing stuff because it's easy to get things and network, but also it's so easy to lose stuff. Because people are also like it's not a big. It seems like a big industry, but like people know each other, and once you don't do well in that way, like in a point with somebody, they would hear like in another point somewhere else. So, uh, I think the best thing is to be um trying to think ahead of time. That was one of the challenges. Like honestly, like I mean, obviously, LA is like so expensive, so the rent stuff, and um,
I think that's my next
I think
question about the costs in LA. LA is one of the most expensive cities in the US. So do you have
I
any?
think it is the most. No,
I think it is.
isn't it the
It is
most?
number one, right? I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
I think yeah, it is number one right now. So based
yeah.
on the stats, so I'm just curious. Do you have any kind of tricks, tips for students who come to you, gonna come to the LA in the future? They can just reduce a little bit their costs.
Okay, I'm still thinking about the challenges, but about this, there's no way. It's so expensive.
Have to
There's
have money.
you better find a roommate because the costs are gonna be divided. I've been living alone in LA, so it it was kind of more even tougher for me to like I was handling my own costs myself, and there was not anybody that I could rely on in terms of some stuff. Like we could get groceries together, or like you know, like the utility would be like divided in two, but there weren't anything like that for me. But the like the biggest suggestion that I can uh give to people that are willing to come to LA is try to get car as soon as possible because I got a car here right after a month that I got to United States, and um I could see that how my life is easier in comparison to people that don't have car.
You
um
mean the public transportation is not good at
Terrible. It's terrible. Not
all?
even good. Like it's the worst thing you could imagine. um I was like I mean I born and raised in Tehran, so Tehran has a good public transportation. And here for me, it was like there was one time that I was sitting in the bus and it was so much in a hurry, and the bus just stayed, and it was the change of the shift for the driver. So they went and somebody else came in. Like it took like about 30 minutes for the other driver to like sign up and come in. So I was like, dude, like,
Yeah, this
and
is really annoying.
so yeah, I feel like you can never rely on public transportation unless you're living in like in downtown or like in Hollywood. Because like there's like these are more condensed part of the city. So wherever you want to go, you can just take metro. But like the actual metro is not wider than those like that area.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think I mean, car. Other than that, the cost living, I mean, I don't have any other suggestions.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm still, I feel like I still don't know the good tricks. Maybe you can go to cheaper supermarkets and stuff. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I think LA is expensive, and people who come in there, they should think about the costs a little bit more serious than
I feel like,
others.
I mean, I was looking at it like an investment. So I was thinking, like, okay, I can. Yeah, I can try my best, but like after a while that you work, and I mean, I started working on an internship in summer, like right after my second semester finished, and that internship was like helping me a lot in like doing like at least like making my own living, like paying rent and stuff. Like as soon as you start working, I mean, the costs are high, but like the pay rates are also like higher. So if you get to work somewhere that you can get paid, it's tough. But if you get to work somewhere like that, it's easier to, you know, like
So let me ask a question about internship. how is internship like for students from AFI? You go into specific companies or filmmaking companies, or you're working with?
So AFI is giving you like like you cannot work after throughout the year, your first year. You don't have the permission. AFI doesn't give you the permission to work, at least for international students. I'm not sure about the local students, but um after when you're getting closer to the end of the second semester in your first year, they start to giving you some hints and like some lists that are like that is like updated list of internships that you can look around it and like find internships. Some of them are unpaid, some of them are paid. They're all like the list is like yeah, Paramount, Netflix, Universal Studio, like different kind of companies that are making films that they need interns for for like different positions, and they're giving like they're kind of like that's why AFI needs people that are like working in industry, so they have connections in it and they get interns from. But it's basically like a community thing as well. Like other than that list, it is also a community thing because like AFI alumni are working in industry, so they asking you to like do an internship or like do a assistant editing for something like that or like do a grip for like cinematographers. Like there are different kind of roles that are like not the actual like not the cinematographer role, but like they might want you to like assistants cinematographer like be AC or like there are different roles. I'm not gonna go if deeper into it, but like uh there are alumni that are working in industry and they want people that are like uh, willing to help out and they bringing them in it, and that's how you get to know people in different kind of fields, and that's how that's why I what I actually at least experienced it, like about AFI, because like the community is so powerful because not even the faculty is in like industry, the alumni are also in the industry, so like it's like a river, you come in and you go and you go wherever that you want after. I mean, there are also people that are like unemployed. It's not like a promising thing. There are people like hey, it's just based on you.
I see. Yeah, that happens. So, what advice would you give to students, international students, or US students who are considering AFI to apply?
What advice?
Any tips, tricks, advice that can make them more successful, or I don't know, anything that can help for people who are considering AFI?
Okay, so basically, the one suggestion that I was told before applying for anything, one advice that I was told was at least make one film and do another one. Like at least have two films. I mean, two films is not enough. You have to have at least like 4 or 5 films in your resume if you want to do films. There are people that have like 100 films in their resume. There are people that have like 20, even like there are people that are like have roles in different, sorry, like resume in different fields, like as a screenwriter and also like another resume for as an editor. Like there are, but like I think you should at least have one film that you made because you're not gonna just apply to AFI. You're not gonna just rely on that. You're gonna apply to for other schools as well. And based on my experience, the thing that helped me was I personally made a film myself before AFI, and I also worked on like around 30 films before AFI. So um as different roles. Like I was DP on some films, I was like editor on some films. They were all student films or like the films that we made in like an art residency that I participated in Iran. Uh, but like you have to have resumes in different kinds.
So,
Other than that, um, try to learn as much as possible about the history, because in during the AFI, you wouldn't have the time to learn. I mean, learn the basics. You have to do and learn by doing. So, uh, you shouldn't be lacking basics when you're coming to AFI. I mean, if you feel like you're lacking, then improve yourself before coming to AFI because you're not gonna have good time. Because like it's like as I told you, like it's like pitching. You have to pitch yourself a lot of times. You have to. It's like speed dating the times that are like people are trying to get matched with their team members. It's like 2 days, 27 teams, 130 people. They have to be matched in only 2 days. So you have to know how to pitch yourself. You have to have ideas about what are your strengths. And these are like about the things before AFI that I can tell. But like specifically for the application, um, I can just tell at least make one film and do another one. Um, it worked for me, and I was told like 3 years earlier than I applied for AFI, something from a person that was like studying in Chapman. But it's like a general thing. If you want to apply for films, you better have a film as a director, unless you want to like specifically study editing or like cinematography or like I don't know. But because like there are not many schools that are like teaching specified disciplines. Most of the good film schools in the United States are like having film production program. They do have disciplines afterwards, like after a year, you have to choose what is your discipline. But their program is like film production program. And when you apply, you have to have a film that you directed yourself solely. Um,
Attila, you talked about making films and you suggested everyone should make a film before coming and applying to this school or institute.
yeah,
So can you be more specific about film? Can I make short film in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or it should be
yeah.
long?
I mean,
And
that should be a short film. I mean, you're not supposed to make a feature.
and
Uh,
and one more question about the language. Every language is accepted to to come and
yeah.
apply for AFI. We shouldn't just make films in
No.
English language, right?
See, okay, films are like, it's not the only film schools that are going on. It's like film festivals that are going on. So the more films that you made, the more background that you have, the more successful you would be in your applications for film schools. But like film festivals are accepting films in other languages, so why not film schools accept films in other languages? So it should be like, and also like it's United States, the diversity is so important. So they want people from different kind of countries, and they're actually bragging about it. They're like, this is an international school, and like half of the people are international students. So, and that's the best thing about it because you get to know different cultures and different. So, yeah, just make the film in the best way that you can and that you want to, because it's gonna help you. But like I was saying this thing that like there are only two, three film schools in the United States that have specifically like one major of like editing or like cinematography. Like UCLA, I think it has, like Chapman has, AFI has, and I think one more was somewhere around. I don't know. I don't remember the name. But like these are the only film schools that have a specific like disciplines. Other ones are like general film production. So you cannot just apply for AFI. I mean, I did, but others can. I mean, I did apply for like a couple, like five, six, but like um you better not. You want to, if you want to move to a country that you want to like continue working, you better um
So
try.
from the 5, 6 you applied, how many did you get?
I Let me think. I applied to six and I got four of them. I got rejected from Iowa and another one. I think I got rejected from Iowa only. Oh, and Emerson. Emerson.
Emerson.
Emerson College. It's like in Boston. I think I didn't get those, but I got the other ones. The other ones that I got was Stony Brook, um
New York.
yeah, NYU, Tisch, New York University, and other one, CalArts, California Institute of Arts. I think that's it. I don't remember the other one.
May I know
Yeah,
what was your IELTS or TOEFL score?
it was seven and a half.
You were 7.5.
Yeah,
What was your speaking?
I don't remember. I think it was seven and a half or seven, something like that.
How you can get 7 with this English skill?
I mean, my English is good or no? I don't know.
Perfect.
Okay, so it's because AFI, I feel like. I mean, my English was not good. It's
Oh, you.
because of this year, I feel like. I mean, it's because of this year because okay, one of the things that you have to get used to is you have to give notes. I remember that I told you like the films that we make are being screened for fellows in the AFI theater. They have to be you have to give notes and you have to stand up, talk about the film to the like because like the all principal teams are gonna sit in front of the on the stage in front of everyone and you have to give notes about them. You have to learn how to give notes and you have to learn how to talk. So I think the most part of it is like, I mean, it's international school, so obviously English is like the primary language. So you keep talking with different people in different I mean, that are like coming with different backgrounds, but in English. So that's that. I think my English uh, improved a lot throughout this year.
I see. It's just. I can tell it's just solid 9 now. Okay, Attila. My next question. What are your
Sure.
plans after graduation from AFI?
Should I answer or should I not? I don't know. I think I should
Uh,
not.
or what kind of future we can expect to see for
Okay,
AFI
let me tell
graduates?
you short term. Let me tell you short term plans that I have right now because I don't know about future. But basically, the plans are I mean for my major, not just AFI, like in general for film people and like artist people, is you apply for F1 when you're coming to the United States. When you get it, you come here and you study. And after to like whatever years that you have to study, you have OPT, 1 year of OPT, which is like optional program training. And it's not like for STEM, like for technology and stuff, it's 3 years. For us, it's only 1 year. So in that year, you have to build as much resume as you can, or like your thesis from that you made the previous year, the year before that, uh, is going to different festivals. So you're gonna have some more like more stuff in your resume to apply for an O1 visa artist, which is like a work visa. It's called O1, and it's um it's basically like exceptional. Like what is that called? Uh, art significant. No, I don't remember. Extraordinary ability artist, something like that. So you have to have enough amount of work. I heard that it's more of about kind of the number of works that you've done that you can say you can like prove like different kind of things. And other than that, how qualified you are in your major, in the field that you're trying to get the work visa. It's the process of like our international students that are coming here that they want to stay like as an artist. There are some people that they don't want, obviously they go back. But for me, my plans, after a year starting at AFI, I mean, I'm one of the few editors here that are doing two thesis films instead of one. So I would have two films in my background after graduation, which is like more chances basically. But other than that, it's gonna be a film that I'm gonna be co-writing and co-directing with a friend of mine, and like we are working on it. Maybe I'm gonna be making it this year or like at the end of this year. Like at the end of the educational year, I'm sorry. And after that, it's gonna be just trying to going around and finding like walking around the community and see what kind of jobs and internships you can get. But there are like so many good like opportunities here. Like there is one union that I talked about, ACE, American Cinema Editors. That is like one of the biggest places you can get into. Like it's gonna be 50 years later than now, not now, but because ACE is not a it's not a prefix that you can use right now. Like it's gonna be like you have to have at least 50 years of experience, something like that. But like I'm saying, they have a lot of different internships, a lot of different positions that they offer to people that are like willing to work and they are kind of proficient in their uh, career. So I think I answered your question.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah.
So, Attila, what would you say is the most important skill or mindset that a student should have to be successful in AFI?
The best skill is I mean I can tell the best skill is time management, being responsible about your schedule. Uh, that's how what I learned, and I tried hard to be like uh like going with the schedule and like tried hard to make myself as adaptable as possible with other people and other people's schedule because like it's not really easy. It wasn't easy for me. Maybe it is easy for others. But the other skill that I mean, soft skill that I can say is like communications skill, like how social you are, because you are not studying here. You are building a communication, building a relationship with people that you will work like 10 years later. Uh, because all of these people that are here, they want to be something later on, and like the like elder generation of the film industry are going to like having their own like times with themselves, and this is the new generation that is going and like entering the industry. So um, I feel like the best thing about this opportunity is you will have people, but the most important thing that you have to consider is like build this now so you can use it later. Um, I think yeah. And also like I feel like I mean the thing that helped me a lot is the willing to learn. I fucked stuff up a lot of times. Um, but I was willing to learn. And that I think I mean I did a lot of bad like wrong stuff, literally wrong and now I think of and I'm like, oh, why did I even do that? Like in terms of like even like relationship stuff, like between your professor, you and your professor, or like you and your cohort member, or like you and your team member or something, or like colleague, whatever. Mm, you may do a lot of wrong stuff, but as long as you are willing to work, it has less stake than others, because they see that because why you're here, why you're in a film school, why you're in a like in such film school that is like so practical. It's because you're here to learn and you're here to fail. And the stake
Because if in 1 year ago you were in 7.5 score, I believe you had an amazing and great progress in your speaking. Can you
mm,
tell a little bit more in detail what did you do exactly?
you want to do better after. And that's the thing that I feel like at least worked for me because there were people that are failing and they were not really willing to change. And that was something that like was not really um you know, good about them. I mean, it was not really being said well about them.
That was a great advice. I really liked it.
Yeah.
So I have two more questions left, Attila. The first one is giving some tricks or advice on improving the speaking, because if in 1 year ago you were in 7.5 score, I believe you had amazing and great progress in your speaking. Can you
Mm.
tell a little bit more in detail what did you do exactly in the past year?
More American friends, maybe. Um, I feel like the advice that I can, okay, because there are people that I was also seeing that they were not really good in English, and they're better now, but not really that much of, if not, you cannot see a huge, like a significant progress in their English. There were people that I was seeing. So, I mean, I'm not sure about myself. I'm not talking good about myself, but like I can tell that the more you shy or the more that you kind of try not to talk, the less you learn actually. So I, that's my way of living. I fail a lot, but I learn at least. So I tried hard to talk and like kind of deliver what I wanted to say. And whenever that I couldn't, I just tried to, deliver that. And I think they understand that what you want to say, and they give you that suggestion that like, oh, you can actually say that. Now, or like they say, oh, now you mean that. So you learn that. I keep that. So, um, I think just keep grasping things from different people, like throughout your conversations, is like something that I learned with. Uh, and
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's a great advice. So, my last question, as a gift for the people who are watching us, can you introduce 5 movies to watch?
Oh my God, no.
Tell what you like, your top 5 favorite movies.
Okay, I feel like the top five, it's gonna be so ask a musician what is the best five musics that you want. They cannot answer.
Or, I don't know.
I mean, I can tell like I can. The thing that made me really loving cinema, the director really changed my vision was Krzysztof Kieślowski is like a Polish director that made a series called Decalogue or Decalogue. I feel like it's like a 10 episodes, like 10 short episodes, like a 1 hour episodes. Each of them is like a one kind of feature that you shouldn't have, or like one feature that you should have. Like don't lie, or like uh don't have affairs with with your neighbor, or like like these kind of simple stuff, but there are like some, like it's a lot of details and subtle points in the middle of those episodes that I can suggest. And yeah, I mean
That's
that's it. I think yeah, I suggest a 10. And the thing that it is, yeah, yeah,
Thank you so much, Attila. I appreciate your time and uh, for joining us
of course.
today in our talking conversation. And I'm sure everyone gonna like and enjoy the conversation we had. And I hope the information we
I
shared
hope
here
so.
is helpful and informative enough for people who are seeking to start a new journey in AFI or other film organizations like this. And thank you so much again, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. I'm so happy that I had the opportunity to talk with you, and this was a great I mean, I didn't have that before, so it was so nice to like review everything for myself and kind of talk about this. And feel free to reach out. I can give you my email so you can put somewhere. Feel free to reach out if you needed to. I mean, it's not resume checking and stuff, but like if you had questions about stuff, I'm good to answer your questions. Um, and that's it. Thank you for taking your time and talking with me.
Thank you so much. Bye.